Good evening. How are you doing?
Not too bad. Welcome to the SA F1 Racing League Mexican Grand Prix for Tier 2.
Well, it's Formula One, so I'm happy to be here. And the last time we were together was F2 on Friday. So anything like that, and I'll be a happy man.
I will be a happy man indeed. Let's go through the drivers that will be racing today. So far in the lobby for the Williams will be Firehawk, Skull Razor in the AlphaTauri, Slayer for Haas, Arthur in the Ferrari, Van Vieren Alfa Romeo, Rulock for the Red Bull, Knudsen for the Aston Martin, Mr. Sniper in the Haas. We have the mechanic in the Alpine, two McLaren boys in Where's the Beans and the Toy. Dominant Racer in the Mercedes, Dan Tyler Ferrari, MGST Williams. Really excited to see what he will be doing tonight. Saki Biene, the Dark Fox indeed, and myself and you, Brett, will be on comms.
And I'm looking forward to it. So still early days for me in this like sort of commentating. What should we say? Commentating business. But I'm enjoying it, and credit to all these drivers. They're putting on a great show, week in, week out. They're really delivering.
Last night in the Tier 1 race, 8 safety cars, Brett. Hopefully not a repeat of that tonight.
Wow, 8 safety cars. That was a madness.
17 drivers started on the grid. Only 7 was able to complete the race, as 11 drivers did DNF. There will not be a repeat of this tonight, Brett. Short qualifying only, and we will have 36 laps around the Mexican Grand Prix. It usually does.
No one.
Well, the safety car really changed the outcome of the race. Humid was having a great race. Unfortunate DNF from him, getting disconnected. And a new time driver was able to take the win.
Wow.
We are moments away from qualifying, Brett. 2 more minutes before the session will launch.
Should be interesting.
Should be interesting. Looking forward to being in the commentary box with you, my friend, for another
Always
epic.
a pleasure, Evan.
For another epic SA F1 Racing League race in Tier 2.
Yeah, and as we wait, I am just familiarising myself with the names, because obviously with me being English, I do struggle with some of the names. So I will be pronouncing the names a little bit different to how they should be. So bear with me, boys and girls.
I think you're doing quite well, Brett.
But we're not here for me, we're not here for Evan. We are here for the action on the track.
We definitely are. And I see we have a chat. How's it, people? And chat. Good evening, Deadshot. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the Mexican Grand Prix for Tier 2. We are moments away from qualifying. And Brett, let's see who has the pace to get his car on pole position for this crazy race.
Well, yeah, I mean, qualifying is let's start again. Qualifying is important, but as we've seen before, it doesn't mean everything come race day or race time.
Definitely does not. And let me just quickly open up this photo of mine. Just quickly want to see something, Brett. Don't seem to be finding it now.
I will read that out, Deadshot. We have... Is that Dan Tyler, the brother of Dennis Stroll?
That is correct. And Brett, just for a little bit of interest sake, pole position will not mean everything today because it is an 890-meter run into the first corner. And that'll be interesting to see who's got the better top line speed to get his car into the first corner in P1. Plus minus 18-second pit stop time loss. Of course, that will be less under the safety car.
And quickly before we get underway, we have Deadshot again in the chat. How are you doing, Caster? So, well, Deadshot, from my perspective, I'm doing okay. Evan, how are you doing tonight?
Brett, I'm doing very well. I'm really excited for this race as we already have 4 drivers on their outlaps in the mechanic. I think that's Rulock, Dan Tyler, and Knutsen A in his Aston Martin. Let's just put on the Delta times here and see who will have the fastest laps to get that car on pole position.
Here we go. So, to anybody that is new here, a little bit of information coming your way. Evan is the main commentator. He will be taking you through the race, and I will be having my input here and there, and just sort of add. Then we are good to go.
And Brett, I cannot wait to see how these Tier 2 drivers will function into this Sector 2 S's. A little bit of a problem yesterday for some Tier 1 drivers, and it should be interesting to see what the drivers will be able to accomplish today. Knutsen warming up these tires. And question in the chat for you, Brett, how do you qualify to compete from Deadshot?
The question for me, I mean, maybe I took that question the wrong way. I thought I was going to read the question and ask you, because I interpreted that question as, how do you qualify to compete in this actual lead? That's what I thought it meant.
I took it as... 2 seconds there, Brett. Let's just quickly see. We have a yellow flag down into Sector 2, start of Sector 3. I think that's drivers just warming the tires a bit. And Knutsen is off for his first flyer. Let's see what kind of times he will be able to produce. He will be followed by none other than the Dark Fox. My mistake. I believe that would be Rulock. My mistake, not the Dark Fox. First sector times for Knutsen will be 1:28.8. Let's see if Rulock can match that on 1:22.2. Already up on the time. And who will have the pace, Brett? That is the question.
And to drop back to the chat, Deadshot has confirmed that the question is, how do you qualify for the lead? Yes, Tier 1 or Tier 2. So Evan, take it away. You know more about it than I do.
Are more than welcome to join the Discord, Deadshot, and we will offer you a seat, whether it would be reserved for Tier 2, Tier 3 or Tier 1. And you are more than welcome to join. There's no real trials at the moment, so feel free to join the Discord. We will pop a link in the chat shortly. Right, Brett, we have our first time on the board with, this will be Detoy with a 1:18.3. Definitely not the best that he can do. Maybe might have had a few mistakes along the way. And next to cross the line will be Dan Tyler in his Ferrari, if I'm not mistaken. Indeed it will be on a 1:22.2. That will not be enough. Dominant on a 1:18.3. Rulock on a 1:21.6. And these are not competitive times, Brett. The mechanic goes quick fastest, provisional pole by a 1:18 flat.
We still have the best part of 13 minutes available. Deadshot, if you bear with me, I will try and help you out. Evan will keep us going with the commentary, and I will try and help you out Discord with that link. Deadshot with the Discord link.
And while the chat has been going on, we have our first driver into the 1:17s with Arthur in a 1:17.8. Not a bad time, but definitely not competitive enough to keep him on provisional pole. Let's go down. Who is completing the next lap? New Avenger, invalidated. Knutsen Garage, fire. Saki Bierna, Mr. Validation, no good. Van Vieren, he is currently on a hot lap. What kind of times can he produce? Riding the curbs into the second sector. Turning in a bit. Lost a bit of time there. Not the best sector 2. Let's see what kind of pace he has. Thank you for the...
Deadshot. That's okay.
Runs wide, Brett. Scared to get onto the power. It's so easy to lose the rears around that corner. 1:16, 17, 18. This lap will be no good. Only puts him into P5, 1:19.5. Not competitive enough to keep him in the top 5 positions. Dark Fox still in the pits. Mr. Sniper currently on a new hot lap. Who is going to cross the line, Brett? We have I think it's one of the Hash drivers, MM Slayer. It will be him. Only 121.3, ninth on the grid so far. Not good enough. We will have Skullraiser on a set of intermediate tires. That will be no good. He dives into the pits.
Still early days, and Deadshot, I do hope that Discord link is all good for you.
And then we have Mr. Sniper currently doing his first flyer, no invalidation, a 1 minute 16, 17, 18, runs wide, no good. That's only P8 at the moment. We have Arthur still, provisional pole. But Sparkplug, MGS, Knudsen, Firehawk, Saki Biene and the Dark Fox still needs to come out to set their best times. 11 minutes and time is ticking.
Yes, it is still early days. Some of the drivers find it a little bit difficult at the moment. So we'll see what they can do.
Dan Tyler into the pits. We have a McLaren. Is he on a hot lap? We have Where's the Beans? Where's the time? Let's see what he can produce, Brett. No, into the pits. Right, next driver, we have Van Vieren, 138 at the moment. He will dive into the pits. Indeed he does. We have a Hash driver with MM Slayer, invalidation, no good. Then we have a Williams of MGS, only a 1 minute 29. That's definitely not the pace that he has. And the Dark Fox is out on track. Get ready, Brett. We might see drivers going into the 1 minute 16s. Warming the tires.
Stick with us, boys and girls, because this will get heated up very soon. 10 minutes remaining of qualifying.
We have the toy currently in the 2 minutes. Definitely made a mistake somewhere. Is he going to dive into the pits? Running low on fuel, but he is going to provide a hot lap now. Who will cross the line next? It will be the Ferrari of Arthur. Currently in the 2 minutes. This lap will be no good. Diving into the pits maybe? No, does not dive into the pits. He has full ERS and he sets off for another flyer. Next will be the Williams of MGS, currently on a 1 minute 8, 9, 10.
Oh, time is ticking down. Plenty of drivers still in the pits.
Struggling, 16, 17, 18. That puts him onto the second grid of this Grand Prix on a 1 minute 18 flat. And Brett, only one driver in the 1 minute 17s. Down to Dark Fox. He's starting his first hot lap. And let's see what kind of pace the Dark Fox will produce. Keeping out of the way very well of the Mercedes there. And this Red Bull will be looking to push and put his car on provisional pole. Yellow flag down into sector 3. Fastest, sector 1, a 1:28.3 currently running. Keeps it nice and tight, gets onto the throttle well.
Yeah, yellow flag, sector 200.
Rides the curbs well. He will not catch traffic. Let's see what he does around the S sector. Keeps it nice and tidy. The Dark Fox riding these curves with ease, Brett. And it will be another purple sector 2 on a great lap thus far. Into the last sector. Touches the curbs, kisses it, down onto the throttle. Can he straighten the car out in time? A little bit slow there, Brett. Abandoning his lap. Abandoning his lap. And what is the Dark Fox up to? Only time will tell. Saki Biene out for his outlap. Along with Firehawk, Knudsen, and Sparkplug is on a flyer. Currently having not a purple sector 2. What kind of times will he be able to produce?
Oh,
And that is a 1 minute
remaining.
17 flat, Brett, almost into the 1 minute 16s. Good lap from Sparkplug, and Arthur will need to respond on that time. Sparkplug, provisional pole, currently almost into the 1 minute 16s. Who will be next? Will we have the McLaren of the toy? No, he's into the pits. And Brett, so far we have quite some gaps in between the drivers.
We really do. I mean,
We
lots
have-
of drivers in the 1 minute 18, but then 1 minute 19, 20, 21. So, a second in real life doesn't seem a lot, but in Formula One terms, it is massive.
So we have a gap of 1 second between P1 and P3 currently. That is a
is
remarkable distance between the drivers thus far, Brett. But it's one thing to set up a hot lap, it's another thing having great race pace. So can Sparkplug carry this through into the race?
We will find out soon. We've seen it plenty of times before, Evan. What you do in qualifying doesn't always transfer to the race.
And Rulock currently 8/10 up on his time. Down on his time, sorry. So will this be a better lap from the Rulock to push that Red Bull into the top 10? Rides the curbs, little aggressive, slow to get onto the throttle. Loses the rear a little bit. 120 flat, no good, only jumps one spot into 14th position. Dan Tyler currently half a second up on his time. Runs a little bit wide. Will that hurt his time? Gets the throttle down. 18, 19, 20. No good. Stays P15. Who do we have? We have the mechanic currently doing an invalidation, followed by MGST. 2 minutes this so far. No good for him. And we have drivers struggling out on track, Brett.
Yeah, it's a very interesting qualifying. We have 5 minutes left, 18 drivers, and it's still all to play for, I believe. A lot will happen, I think.
Skull Razor currently running 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Good enough for P6. Skull Razor gets himself up the order. Not a bad lap from him, but still, Brett, only 2 drivers into the 1 minute 17s. And will we see times drop? Maybe going to the pit, slap on a new spare set of softs. And it's all to play for now, Brett, but Sparkplug sitting pretty out in P1 currently.
Yes, definitely all to play for. Just over 4 minutes remaining.
Dan Tyler is improving, but only by 700ths of a second, so this will definitely not be good enough to get his car up into the top 10. Jumping to Mr. Sniper, starting his new flyer. Where is the Beans? Can he produce the pace? Runs very wide, and that will hurt his time. Waiting for the Mercedes of not Dominant Racer, New Avenger. 1 minute 18.2, he gets himself up into P5, pushes the toy and Skull Razor down the order. And the times are starting to get closer now, Brett, but still a 1 second gap out between first and third place.
1 second is a lot.
1 second is an eternity in Formula One, Brett. Mr. Sniper runs wide. That will hurt his time. Both McLarens out. Do we have a McLaren using the slipstream? No. This is where's the Beans? And he'll be heading down to the pits maybe. Right, so we have Dominant Racer starting a new hot lap. Weaving the car back left to right, warming the tires a little bit. Any drivers on a hot lap, Brett? Let's go down to the Haas of Mr. Sniper. No, he is 9 seconds up on the time. Will he jump into the pits? Followed by a McLaren of... Where's the Beans? Is he on a hot lap? Yes, he is indeed. And he's already 5/10 down on his time. Will be an improvement if he can stick sector 3. Nice and tidy. Gets onto the throttle, rides the curbs, puts the throttle down, runs a bit wide. 18, 19. Good enough for P11. Does jump 4 spots. Not good, but not bad as well.
Just over 2 minutes remaining, so we are getting to the nitty-gritty of this qualifying session.
Saki Biena, he jumps into the pits, so he will have to slap on a new set of softs and basically do a hot lap if he wants to get another lap in, Brett.
Yeah, some of the drivers now looking to improve need to get out on track. Time is running out.
Dominant Racer having a slow sector 3, warming up the tires. He is going to have his final run for qualifying. One more shot to get himself up the order. Let's see what kind of pace he can produce. Followed by, it will be the Alpine of the Mechanic. Currently doing a time of 1 minute 18.5. Not an improvement on his time. Stays P3 currently. The McLaren boys. Down next, it will be the Toy. We know that he can produce pace, Brett. Can he stick it together? 13, 14, runs it in a little bit wide. 16, 17, 18, 1. Only good enough for 5th position.
Oh.
And I think that will be his qualifying over.
Just over 1 minute remaining, so
1 minute remaining in this qualifying session. We have Sparkplug with a 4 minutes on the time, maybe warming up the tires, and he will now produce his last flyer. He will be followed by, is it Williams driver there? Of MGS. Yes. Going to produce his last flyer, so he's got one more gap to go. And look at this, the Mechanic is down on his time by 500ths of a second. Will this be an improvement, Brett? Runs it nice. And into the 117s, pushes Arthur down into P3. That is good enough for currently P2. Can Arthur respond? No, a 117.8. But he does have enough ERS, for, I think, for one more flying lap. Let's move down to Dan Tyler in his Ferrari, currently running 2/10 down on his time. Good enough for P70 only. That's his qualifying over. The McLaren of the Toy will be finishing in 5th position currently, followed by where is the Beans jumping into the pits. Mr. Sniper running around the final corner of this lap. Only good enough for P15. No improvement on his time. Knudsen just crossed the line. Brett, he improves his time by 3/10. Jumps his Aston Martin into P11. And so far we have Van Vieren, Knudsen, Dark Fox, Mr. Sniper, Rulock and M. Slayer along with MGST. Their qualifying is done. Sparkplug jumping into the pits. The Mechanic, no, he's already in the 1 minute 21s. This will not be an improvement. Skullraiser improves, jumps to P4 with his lap. Arthur, Sparkplug still in provisional pole, and I don't think anyone will challenge him for pole position at this moment, Brett.
It does look like Sparkplug has got the job done.
Has the job done. New Avenger with an invalidation. The Toy currently on a 1 minute 13, 14, 15 will not be good enough to improve his time at all. Only good enough for a 1 minute 19.6. He stays in P6, and that is qualifying done and dusted, Brett.
There we
and
go.
Look at the gaps from P1 to P5. 1 second in it. And this will be a very close contest, Brett, when you look at the midfield of this Grand Prix. It will be an interesting day indeed. I'm looking forward to this race, Brett. Not the best qualifying, but let's see if we can pick it up in the race. And it will be a battle in the midfield.
I believe we can. I believe these drivers will put on a great show tonight. So stick with us, boys and girls, and this race will be underway very shortly.
Run us through the grid, Mr. Francis.
We have 1 to 10. Sparkplug, the Mechanic, Arthur, Skullraiser, MGS, the Toy, New Avenger, Dominant Racer, Firehawk, and Saki BN, and then 11 downwards. Jan Bjorn, Knudsen, Where's the Bean, the Dark Fox is in 14th. And then we have If I can get through it, Mr. Sniper, Ruloff, Dan Tyler, and Slayer brings up the rear of the grid. 18 drivers running tonight, and there we go.
36 laps around this track, Brett. Let's see what strategies the drivers will opt for. And it's bound to get interesting. Hopefully, the safety car will not be bothering us too much tonight. But I'm looking forward to this Mexican Grand Prix.
So am I, Evan. So, hopefully, for the viewers, for us, it's a good race. For the drivers, hopefully it is stress-free.
And Sparkplug sitting pretty out in front. Can he keep up the pace and build a gap before DRS opens? But Arthur will be on him. And we will be back for the start of this Grand Prix.
Oh. We are counting down to lights out.
Right, Brett. We are off. Couple of drivers jumping, maybe. We are off, Brett. And who got the jump on who? Knudsen disqualified. No.
Took me by surprise as
First
well.
time in SA F1 Racing League that we will have the formation lap. So let's run through the grid again. It will be Sparkplug followed by the Mechanic, followed by Arthur, Skullraiser, MGST, Detoy, Avenger, Dominant, Firehawk, DRS, Saki Bierner, Van Vieren, Knudsen disqualified. He'll be starting on cool tires. Where's the Beans, Dark Fox, Mr. Sniper, Rulock, Dan Tyler, Slayer, and Carefree Veal starting at the back of the pack.
I mean, already I'm surprised because there was a formation lap. So we're not even into the race yet, and I'm surprised.
Looks like we have an attention seek a little bit there in chat, Brett, but let's not mind him too much.
Literally, Evan, that's why I'm not even entertaining the chat at the moment. I'm just ignoring it.
Right. So the drivers are currently making their way to the grid. Knudsen left the session. Let's hope he can join back. And we are almost ready to get underway. Drivers forming up. 890 meter run down into the first corner, Brett.
It is a long run down to that first turn.
Who will have the better top line speed? Sparkplug parks his car. Mechanic, Arthur, Skull, MGS. Who will have the best run into the first corner? Mr. Brett. We are almost ready for lights out in tier 2. Right, Brett. The grid is set.
I'm just hoping for a clean getaway.
The lights are set. 2, 3, 4, 5. And we are off in Tier 2 Mexico. Who got the better start, Brett? We have Mechanic almost making the jump. Arthur pushing himself into P2. Sparkplug, good top line speed. We are off. Let's hope for no incidents. We have an incident, Brett. We have New Avenger and a toy out of this Grand Prix before even reaching the first corner. And we have a safety car on the start of this Grand Prix. Who managed to get their cars up? Carefree Veal with an incredible start, gaining 10 positions.
Wow.
And that was unfortunate. That will be referred to the stewards. So let's see what they will have to say after that. There will be appeals on the start of this Grand Prix. And Brett, lap 1, we have our first safety car.
Wow. Commentators curse. Sometimes I don't know why I bother. I said all I wanted was a clean getaway. We didn't even make it to the first corner and 2 drivers are out. Good night.
The Toy and New Avenger out of this Grand Prix. Couple of drivers with damage who will be jumping into the pits. Sparkplug still leading this Grand Prix. Got away well with Arthur, MGS, Funfeeden and Skull Racer. But Carefree Veal jumping from P19 to P10. Great start from him.
Brilliant start.
Let's look at the compounds. Let's look which drivers is running which tires. Skull Racer going aggressive, Brett. He will be on the soft tires. Carefree on the mediums. Dominant Racer mediums and the rest of the grid on the hard compound tires.
See, Formula 1. That's what makes it so interesting. Different strategies, but we're all racing the same race.
And let's see, we have Dominant Racer into the pits, Saki Biene into the pits. The only 3 drivers, there will be another driver. The Dark Fox also into the pits. Jumping onto the mediums, Saki Biene onto the mediums. Mr. Sniper also into the pits. Dominant Racer jumps aggressive, he goes to the softs. Whew. Lap 1, Brett, already safety car.
Madness. And Evan, we have our friend from Friday back in the chat. We have James returning to the stream again.
Welcome in, James. Always good to have you in. We are currently running lap 2 of this Mexican Grand Prix under the safety car. Sparkplug leading this race, got away well. And Brett, let's hope for a good restart.
Hopefully. But only time will tell.
I assume we will have 2 laps of safety car waiting for the pack to catch up, so that we can get back underway of this Mexican Grand Prix.
Well, we're on lap 2 of 36 and there's going to be a lot more happening.
So
that
Dominant,
I can guarantee.
So Dominant Racer opting for the soft tires. They will go off the cliff quite quickly. He will need to make use of these soft tires to gain a couple of free positions before he will be forced to jump back into the pits. However, does have a new set of hards left, which might be able to carry him through the rest of this race.
We have somebody in the chat who says, "Good evening, boys. Hate it when children play around here. I'm new to this and I'm super excited."
Well, thank you very much. So are we. Very excited for this Mexican Grand Prix. We were thinking about this all day long. Happy to have you here in the stream. And Brett, I assume maybe one more lap of a safety car? Or safety car in this lap?
Do you know what? I don't want to call it. Whenever I say something, the opposite happens.
Under the safety car.
Sorry, James, I can't be repeating names out here. I'm just reading the message. But I do believe that the person that said that message was the person that was talking earlier and messing around, just by the emoji they put at the end of their message. So, Eben, please bear that in mind. I think it's the same person messing around.
Really, I'm not going to look much into that, Brett.
We're here for racing.
Couldn't care less. Here for racing, here for the league. And as I expected, the safety car will be in this lap. Sparky warming up these tires, ready to get us back underway. Arthur warming up the tires behind him. And Brett, let's hope for a clean getaway. No more safety cars. Right.
I will say it again. I want a clean getaway. Come on.
Spectating Arthur. When will Sparkplug make the jump? Not yet. He's off and we are back on the way, Brett. Sparkplug already pulling away. Jump on MGST. Not under pressure from anyone. We have a driver into the pits of Dan Tyler jumping onto what compound? He had damage. Something happened at the back there. Onto the mediums. And Sparkplug is away with Arthur on his heels. We have a yellow flag, Brett. That will be MM Slayer. Who did he make contact with? Looks like it was Carefree, Veal and Mr. Sniper going very slowly around the corners. Back to the front, Sparkplug. Only 3/10 ahead of Arthur. And Brett, not a bad restart?
Not a bad restart at all. It was definitely better than the start of the race.
And look at Arthur. Riding the curbs, aggressive. Sparkplug seems to be struggling around the S corners.
Arthur all over the back of him.
All over the back. It looks like Sparkplug is managing to defend him with better top line speed. Maybe Arthur opted for more downforce. Let's take a look down into this very, very long main straight. Sparkplug is pulling away, had the better exit, but no, Arthur comes back at him. 3/10, 4/10, and look at the top line speed of Sparkplug. Maybe hunting down with ERS? Yes, he does.
And as Eben guides us through this race, we do have Detoy. If that is right, sorry, apologies if it's wrong. We have Detoy in the chat. It is a joke, not even reaching the first corner.
We did.
Congratulations to you. I'm sorry.
We did catch that on stream, Detoy. We did see you going off with New Avenger. Like I told Brett, I know there will be appeals after this race. It was a sad way for Detoy to end his race like that. But we are back with Arthur hunting down Sparkplug. Can Sparkplug feel the pressure? Arthur having good exits. Might be running more downforce, Brett. Keeps the car nice and tidy.
We're still running on board with this battle for P1, but interesting battles throughout the track. Interesting battles.
Interesting battles as well. Going down to Dominant Racer on Where Is the Beans. Klaas sliding through the S section here, Brett. Running a bit wide. Will we see penalties mounting up? And look at Saki Bierner joining the party in the fight for P10. Running a little bit wide. And we will have DRS activated, Brett.
Also the Dark Fox, I just seen it. He did gain a position at the P7 now, the Dark Fox.
Right, so we will have DRS enabled.
Lovely.
Will we see the rear wing open up? Not yet for them, Brett. DRS only on the next lap. While it's going on, the Dark Fox, as you've stated, gaining positions, having a good race on the medium tires so far.
We do have the mechanic as well, all over the back of Rulock.
Mechanic all over the back of Rulock. And Brett, not a lot of gaps forming at this moment as Brett, Arthur managed to get past Sparkplug.
Wow.
In the hunt for P1.
Wow.
And Skull Racers... Sorry, Brett?
Yeah, sorry, Eben. I'm just going to cut away to the chat quickly. We have Ashley in chat. I don't know what happened to me. According to my game, I'm still in the grid waiting for the start.
That is unfortunate. Don't know what happened there. Brett, Skull Racer making these set of softs work for the time being. Will Sparkplug be able to get back at Arthur? Has the better top line speed. Rear wing opens up, hunting him down. Look at the speed of this Alfa Romeo. Makes the jump back into P1. No DRS for Arthur, of course. We have, who is off, Dominant Racer having a little moment there. Losing positions. No damage that I can see of Brett. But as I've stated, no DRS for Arthur. Half a second behind Sparkplug.
An interesting race. Very interesting. Only on lap 7 if you are just joining us. 2 drivers out and they've both been out on the first corner. We've had 1 safety car as well.
1 safety car only. We are currently running on lap 7. Skull Race is still making these set of softs work. Nice and tidy through the S sections. Lifting and coasting a little bit. Rear wing goes open. Hunting down MGST for a podium spot of this Grand Prix.
And we do have battles further down the grid. 15th on 14th and 14th currently chasing down 13th.
Knudsen
Yes. Yes, Evan, take it away.
Knudsen on Sniper on Carefree. The battle for P13. Doesn't matter if it's points or not, Brett. Everyone wants to finish ahead of everyone in this race.
Yes, they
Gaps slowly but surely starting to fade. Dark Fox with a 1 minute 19.7 fastest lap at this moment. And we have Arthur
again. Arthur's back in the lead. I've just seen it.
Back in the lead. Turning out to be a great battle. No DRS for Sparkplug this time. And we have a yellow flag. Dan Tyler going off. I can see pieces of wing. He will have to jump into the pits. And I'm seeing some underbody damage as well, Brett. This car will be underperforming.
Wow, Formula 1.
While this is going on, we have Mr. Sniper on Carefree Veal. This is getting spicy indeed. Runs wide. He will have the DRS. Will he make the jump? We have another yellow flag, Brett. Who's off? And Sparkplug is off.
Oh my god, he's dropping right down.
He's dropping right down. And that unleashes Arthur. Gives him a bit of breathing space. Does he have damage on that Alfa Romeo of his? Can't see any damage running on that car. And do we have Arthur? For a moment there I thought he was jumping into the pits, but that will be his teammate. And this will be a sad sight for Dan Tyler. On lap 8, he is close to being lapped by his teammate in this Grand Prix. Not a good start for Dan Tyler at all. We have another yellow flag. Who runs off? No one that I can see of.
Wow.
Skull Racer Brett, currently out of DRS range. Maybe those soft tires starting to run off the cliff a little bit.
That could be the case.
The mechanic all over the back of Sparkplug. Costly error from him. Jumping from P2 to P7.
We do have also Where's the Beans hunting down Saki Bien. That is a battle for 9th.
Battle for 9th currently. Rulock 4.4 seconds down the road. Can Where's the Beans extend the gap? Close down the gap, sorry. And gaps slowly but surely starting to fade. And our first penalty of the race goes to Van Vieren. Exceeding track limits, multiple warnings.
And as I always say, those penalties will come into effect. They
definitely will. And look who's in the hunt for P3. Skull Racer jumps into the pits, had enough of these soft set of tires, unleashes the Dark Fox, hunting down MGST. And they will be feeling the fire from the Dark Fox pretty soon, Brett.
That is true. What can the Dark Fox do? Where's the Bean still chipping down Saki Bien?
Saki Bien. It looks like Saki Bien, even without DRS, has the top line speed covered off. Where's the Beans doesn't seem to be making much of an impression down the straights, Brett.
And we do have also further down the grid, but it's still an interesting battle. Carefree hunting down Mr. Sniper.
They are indeed. Where's the Beans? Is he going to make the jump? Oh, there's contact! There's contact!
Oh, wow.
Late on the brakes. That will mean Rulock goes through.
Oh, God. It's not bumper cars, but...
Bumper cars.
Wow.
Will Saki Bien have rear wing damage after that incident? This will definitely be a report. And Where's the Beans does have front wing damage on his McLaren. MGST, costly mistake. Second guy to receive penalties on this race.
Wow.
Dark Fox closing. Having a good race. Let's look at the positions gained, Brett.
We are up to lap 11. Evan, it's been a fantastic race already.
And Dark Fox jumping 11 spots from the start of this Grand Prix. Who lost out on the most? That will be Dominant Racer, losing out on 7 positions. Sparkplug still running in P6, hunting down the Firehawk. Right. Cautious driving by him. by Sparkplug. Right, the Dark Fox gaining on MGST. Will he put up much of a battle against the Dark Fox? DRS wide open, will not make the move now, will wait for the main straight. Another penalty from Van Vieren takes him to 6 seconds of worth of penalties.
But also having an interesting battle down there in sixth at the moment, trying to get his way back up.
Right, so Dark Fox does get the better exit. Rear wing opens up, switches, and that puts him into second place. No DRS for MGST down the second straight, and that will unleash the Dark Fox to hunt down Arthur. Sparkplug on Firefox also makes the move stick.
Oh, and quickly switching back to the chat, we do have a Rulock fan. Ashley says, lack of Rulock, keep it there.
And as we speak about Rulock, Brett, 3-second penalty for him for exceeding track limits.
I don't know why I say people's names. Whenever I mention somebody, something happens.
Brett is the commentator's curse master. Whenever he mentions a name, something happens to that driver.
I do apologise, boys and girls. Maybe I should just keep quiet, and I don't know what to do anymore.
The mechanic on Firehawk doesn't have much DRS to play with. Very cautious driving. Once waiting for the DRS zone to try and make an impression. Firehawk seems to be struggling. Better exit from the mechanic. Will not make the move now, Brett. Wait for that main straight.
Yeah, and that is... Well, we have MGS trying to hunt down the Dark Fox. There are some close battles on track, but also there are gaps appearing.
Right. No real ERS to fight with. We are on the main straight. The mechanic versus the Firehawk for P6. Where's the Beans? Another 3-second penalty for him. And once again, Brett, it seems as though the Firehawk will have this move well defended. Mechanic not making an impression even with DRS.
They should be right. We are approaching lap 14. We have yellow flag set for 3. That will quickly disappear. Yes, it does.
Rulock having a little bit of a lonely race there. Currently running in P10. Only 3 seconds down the road from him is Mr. Sniper, and 3 seconds ahead of him is the Skull Racer.
The closest battle on track is the battle for P1, I believe.
It will be the battle for P1. And the mechanic did get past the Firehawk. Right. Not a lot of battles on track. The closest battle will be the battle for P1. The Dark Fox hunting down his rival of Arthur. 12-lap-old mediums versus 13-lap-old hards, and he's still making these mediums work.
And we are approaching halfway through this race, and there is still plenty on offer in the
half distance, Brett, and only one safety car. Carefree Wheel with a 3-second time penalty. Will the Dark Fox go for the move? No, he won't. Stays behind Arthur. He knows down the main straight there's a long DRS zone on its way. He will be patient on this move, and MGS keeping well intact with the 2 men out in front. He will have to keep this gap extended because he does have a 3-second time penalty.
Well, since that incident on turn 1, well, not even approaching turn 1 on last one, it's been a pretty straightforward, clean race. So let's hope that continues.
Brett, internet problems for the Dark Fox. It seems as though he has left the session.
Oh no.
Let's see if we can quickly invite him back. Sorry viewers for this.
No need
Trying
to apologize,
to
everyone.
get the Dark Fox back in quickly.
No need to apologize at all. These things happen.
No, can't seem to find him. Did he go offline, Brett?
If I knew, I would answer, but unfortunately,
Oof.
I cannot answer.
Yes, all right. Anyways, back to the race. Closest battles on track currently, Brett, will be, there are gaps all over the place. And this is what happens when there is no safety cars. Drivers being able to maintain the gaps, keep the positions, and Arthur sitting out very pretty out in P1. If he had to pit now, Brett, let's see where he will come out. Yeah, plus Arthur. Minus 19-second pit stop. So if the Arthur wants to pit now, he will come out in P5 just behind Sparkplug. Things is looking pretty for Arthur.
And we do have, I believe, having a quick glance, we have about 7 drivers currently with penalties. I keep saying it, but these penalties will hinder the drivers come the checkered flag.
It definitely will, Brett. Currently, MGST, Van Vuuren on 6, Rulock with 3 seconds. Where's the Beans 3? Dominant Racer, Carefree, and Dan Tyler currently on 8 seconds. The toy in the chat asking, he will be driving the safety car for the next race and I might get more laps done. Not only that, but you will be leading the Grand Prix for the majority of the laps. Especially in last night's race, 8 safety cars, Brett, compared to this one. Not hoping for the commentator's curse, only 1 safety car, which started at the start of this Grand Prix.
Wow, I mean, I shouldn't be laughing, but if I didn't laugh, I'd probably just cry for these drivers. The stress they go through, rather than me.
So, who made pit stops? Currently, the Dark Fox with 1 stop. Saki Biena, Skull Razor, Mr. Sniper, Where's the Beans? Dominant Racer with 2 stops. Carefree, Dan Tyler, and MM Slayer. The rest of the grid still needs to pit. Oh, we have off! MGST! He's off! Caught it on stream.
And, wow.
And that is a full safety car, Brett.
Wow.
Why do we keep speaking? Why do we keep testing fate for these things to happen?
Wow, 1 minute, he's there. Cruising down the road, and the next minute, boom, good night.
It works out for Arthur pretty well, jumping into the pits, Brett. And I do see a brand new set of mediums that will be going on for him. Is the Dark Fox back? I'm not seeing a ghosted car, Brett. Let's hope the Dark Fox is back, jumping into the pits. Van Vuuren into the pits, Sparkplug, followed by the mechanic.
Wow.
The Firehawk stays out. Risky move by him. The mechanic in. Will Saki Biena jump in and look at Arthur pitting and leaving the pits, still leading this race. Tires, Firehawk with a very aggressive move, Brett. 16 lap old hard tires, refusing to pit. Will this come back to haunt him? Saki Biena retires from the session. No, I don't think he did. He stays out. Skull Razor stays out with a newish set of hards. Rulock into the pits. Sniper into the pits. Where's the Beans? He will come into the pits. Those softs will not last to the end. And we have a safety car. MGST having a great race. Being ended, running in the podium positions. He will not be happy with himself, and he will be questioning his approach to the sector, to the second sector.
And we do have Goat in the chat saying MGS unlucky and then do toy. Apologies if I'm butchering your name. No more safety car talks. I think you are right.
I think I have to agree with the toy there and apologize. No more talks of safety cars.
We are up to safety car number 2. If you're playing safety car roulette, then put your number in chat now. How many safety cars will there be tonight? Currently on number 2.
And there will be a couple of laps of safety car to wait for all these cars to reform into the pack so that we can get back underway, led by Arthur of this Grand Prix. Right, so drivers who did not pit. Knudsen aggressive, 16 lap old hards, didn't pit. Saki Biena, 16 lap old mediums, followed by Firehawk. He will be under massive amounts of pressure by the Dark Fox and Van Vuuren on those old hard tires.
James in chat said, let's just cut our losses and have a 10 safety car Grand Prix. Stick with us,
Please.
James, it could happen.
Spare us the drama, James. 10 safety cars. Brett, I am amazed by the Firehawk who refused to jump into the pits.
Staying out 17 lap old tyres, and we are at the halfway point in this Mexican Grand Prix. If you
And we
just joined us,
have-
where have you been?
We have Arthur, and behind him, lapped by his teammate Dan Tyler, Brett. So he's in between Arthur and the Firehawk. He will have to get out of the way of the cars.
Yes, something needs to happen.
Something definitely needs to happen. The game is designed that the lapped cars cannot unlap themselves, so he will be in the way of the front runners. Hopefully down the straight.
Ooh, sorry to interrupt, Evan, but the way this race has worked out and the timing of the safety car, it has played right into Arthur's hands.
It played exactly into Arthur's hand, and these mediums will go to the end of this Grand Prix. I'm not going to say it, Brett. You know what I'm thinking, but I'm not going to say it.
I know what you're thinking, and just keep it in your mind. Do not
I
say
know,
it.
the toy knows, the stream knows, but I will not say it.
We also have Danny in chat. We have a supporter for Where's the Beans, Jan.
Currently running in P14, not having a bad race at all, but let's not forget, Brett, he did have that incident. Was it New Avenger he had the incident with? Can't remember from the top of my mind now. But he was not having a bad race at all, was in the positions for a points scoring finish. 19 laps done, only 3 drivers have been lost by MGST, New Avenger and the Toy. Right, Brett, we will be under racing after this lap. The entire grid has caught up and we will be racing. The safety car will be in by the end of this lap. And Dominant Racer with a 5-second penalty, severe collision with Carefree.
Let's get back to racing. That's what we are here for.
Drivers will have to learn to respect each other's space under safety car conditions.
3 drivers are currently DNF.
A massive improvement from the Tier 1 race. Right, Brett.
Evan, do not speak too soon.
My apologies, Brett. As I predicted, the safety car is in this lap. Arthur, warming up the tires, will not be under pressure from the Firehawk as Dan Tyler, his teammate, is directly behind him. Will they play the team game, Brett? I hope not. Dan Tyler, hopefully he'll move out of the way as not to make an impact for the Firehawk. Trying to gain positions will be difficult on 18 lap old hards, and we are off. He gets the jump. Firehawk already 2 seconds behind him. Arthur made the jump on brand new set of medium tires. He will be extending the gap. Firehawk under pressure from the Dark Fox, who will be leading into the first turn. The Dark Fox backs out. Very good driving by him. Van Vieren, watch yourself out there. Don't want to be ending your race. Firehawk gets away, but these tires will not last, Brett. And when will he go to the pits?
Sooner rather than later. And
Van Vieren
question.
gets past the Dark Fox on his brand new set of softs.
Wow.
A move we were not anticipating, but remarkable driving from Van Vieren. And out in front, Arthur is extending the gap.
Arthur, where he wants to be.
Van Vieren hunting down the Firehawk. I'll extinguish you, he says. Let's go. Gaining. Will he make the move? Late on the brakes. Great stuff by Van Vieren. Gets himself into P2, hunting down Arthur, Brett. Dan Tyler will have to get out of the way. Blue flags are waving.
Don't mess up the race. Do
If
not
he
mess it
doesn't
up.
get out of the way, it will be a penalty under blue flag conditions currently. Not getting out of the way will not be fair. Thank
Well
you very
done,
much,
Jan
Dan Tyler.
Jordan.
No?
Where's the
This is
beam?
no good,
Up
Brett.
to ninth.
I am not enjoying this at all. Dan Tyler
Oh,
running in last, trying to fight for P2.
they need to move.
That will be a penalty indeed. And Van Vieren, get in there, you beauty. Great driving from him. Right, Brett. Back to the back of the grid. We have the closest battle currently running on where is the beans. Right, we have a driver running wide. I think that's Dan Tyler allowing everyone to pass him finally. Van Vieren, no! Another 3-second time penalty. That will push him
my
to
God.
9 seconds worth of penalties. Having a great restart after the safety car.
15 laps remaining, and this is far from over.
It's far from over indeed. The Dark Fox dropping positions, Brett. We were not expecting this. Sparkplug back into P5. Was leading this race. We have DRS enabled.
Arthur out in P1 in Dreamland at the moment, extending that lead.
And Firehawk is dropping like a rock. Those hard tires and not pitting, coming back to haunt him. The mechanic all over the back of him on a brand new set of mediums. Will he make the move into the first corner? No. Keeps out of the way. Hits the curb. Will he have the better exit on a brand new set? You bet he will. On the rear. Hits the ERS. Not much to work with. And Firehawk is dropping like a stone, Brett. He needs to pit.
They need to pit now or never.
We have a
Get to that
safety
point.
car, and that is the Dark Fox and Mr. Sniper making contact with one another. Dark
Oh
Fox,
my
5-second
God.
penalty. And he's having a race that he would want to forget.
Oh my God, Formula One has just brought us another major incident.
And there are more penalties to be served. Mr. Sniper, the Dark Fox, and it's going all wrong for him that was running in P2 in this Grand Prix.
This is penalties galore.
Penalties galore. Skull Racer on the back of Saki Biener. Look at the Skull Racer pushing. Right. Into the second sector, into the S section. You can see Saki Biener really slowing Skull Racer down. Brett, we had a virtual safety car, missed that for a couple of moments, my apologies. We have another racer off in Dominant Racer. And drivers starting to lose it on new compounds.
We really are, and there's penalties everywhere. They will come into play. We're only on lap 23, 13 laps remaining. If you are just joining us, where have you been? You're missing an absolute fun fest out here.
Sparkplug having a great race, dropping from P1 back into P3. Skull Racer on Saki Biener. This is a drag race into the first corner. Makes the move stick. Saki Biener, is he a bit aggressive? No. No DRS for Saki Biener, and Skull Racer will be away. Gets the better exit. Rear wing wide open. Goodbye, Saki Biener. See you at the finish line, he hopes. And he gets into P9.
And all the meanwhile, Arthur is extending the lead more and more.
Arthur extending the gap. Extending the gap, 7.98.
We have, sorry to interrupt, we have the Where's the Beans fan in chat. Danny, yes, that is correct.
The Beans in
P5.
P5, Brett. We've missed that. Get in the Beans.
Where's the Beans? Well, there he is. He's P5.
He's P5 and sitting pretty because he has a 10-second gap to Carefree. He currently does have 3 seconds worth of penalties as well as Carefree, setting very pretty, Brett, jumping 8 positions. We have a yellow flag down in sector 2. That will be the Red Bull of Rulok. having a race that he would like to forget. Didn't have a bad start though. Oh, runs wide, missing the breaking point. Fingers crossed, Rulock. Get back in that race, lad. We have a fight of Mr. Sniper and a Ferrari. Maybe that's Dan Tyler ghosting Brett. Back to Arthur, extending the gap 1 second per lap. Remarkable driving from him. Followed by Van Vieren. You need to get a move on, my friend, with 9 seconds worth of penalties. Followed by the spark plug, the mechanic. And there's your Beans running in P5 currently, extending the gap on Carefreeville. And the Firehawk Brett, as we expected, on a brand new set of mediums now, was dropping like a rock. But he's sitting pretty, Brett, on a brand new set of mediums.
Closest battle on track, I would say. Dominant Racer is hunting down, is it Knutson?
And the Beans into the pits, Brett. He will come out in P7, followed by the Dark Fox that will be hunting him down.
Still all to play for.
All to play for,
11
indeed.
laps remaining.
And there is your race leader with a gap of almost up to 9 seconds, Arthur. Brett, it's his race to lose. Can he keep it intact?
I can't believe you just said it, Eben. I can't believe you said it.
Last time, Brett, you were rooting for Arthur, where you said it was his race to lose. He was leading the Grand Prix, managed to DNF. Will he redeem himself for first place and 25 points? Sparkplug
find out.
gets past Van Vieren because he jumps into the pits. He's had enough of these soft tires. A great restart from him, but he needs to get back and extend the gap. Van Vieren, Brett, coming out of the pits. Carefreeville will be making his way onto the main straight right about now, and Van Vieren out of the pits with a gap of, we will see what the gap is in a moment.
We do have Firehawk as well, closing down Carefree.
Firehawk closing down Mr. Carefree. Oh, a little bit of contact, Brett. But he makes the move stick.
Yes,
Oh, will we have contact?
feeling the heat.
Oh, no, we don't. Oh, we have contact. We have contact of Carefreeville and
Oh
Firehawk.
my god, not again.
There will be queries because of that. And the Dark Fox says, thank you very much. I'll swerve past you guys. And there will definitely be queries between these two, Brett. The Firehawk, does he have any damage? Doesn't look like it. Carefreeville doesn't look like any front wing damage. We have 9 laps remaining in this Grand Prix. Closest battle, where is the Beans? Hunting down the Firehawk. He's happy because of the incident. Maybe he can get himself back into P5?
We will find out. We will stick with this battle. Hunting him down.
Closest battle on track. We have Dominant Racer almost running into the back of the Dark Fox. Get a move on, he says. I am on a brand new set of softs, wanting P8. Oh, cuts the track. He loses it. Runs wide.
Oh my god, please.
Hard onto the throttle. Loses the position. Knutson stays out of trouble. Into the points he goes, running in P10. And Saki Bierna hunting down his teammate. Will we see a little bit of team orders here tonight, Brett?
I would say no, but what do I know?
And the Firehawk and the Beans. The Beans gets the position on the Firehawk. Van Vieren with another 3-second penalty. What are you doing, mate? You're ruining your race in P4.
Wow. Penalties galore. I've said it once, and also we need to remember we need to decide a driver of the day at some point.
Well, Brett, extending the gap by 12 seconds already. Sparkplug having a remarkable race. Thanks to Danny in chat, he managed to get himself from P13 to P2. But Arthur, Brett, what a race this man has had. If nothing happens, touch wood,
And
he
it is
will
a
be
big
driver of the day. Right, closest battles out on track, Brett. Skull Racer and the Fox, followed by Knudsen and Saki Biene, the two teammates down at Aston Martin. This is an incredible race. Tier 2, hats off. I'm not saying it yet. Oh, we have a yellow flag, Brett. No.
Oh my god, here we go. Oh!
We have Mr. Sniper and Dominant Racer. I'm going to keep my mouth shut, Brett. Not speaking about it. Rulock.
I'm gonna have to say, Evan, yellow is my worst colour. I hate it.
Disqualified from the session, Mr. Sniper, going the wrong way. He's
Oh,
disqualified.
wow. Good night.
And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drivers out of this Grand Prix. We have yellow flags in sectors and we have a safety car.
Here we go then.
Full-
I did tell you, if you're number 3, we're up to 3, boys and girls.
Safety car. And who is jumping into the pits? Running you through the grid. The mechanic says, give me a set of softs. I'll be sitting pretty. Who else is jumping into the pits? Everyone will be looking for a fresh set of softs, Brett.
The toy says, bad luck, it is a glitch in the game. That is unfortunate. The game has put pay to his race.
Oh my word. And Arthur, you had it going. Jump into the pits. Put on a brand new set of softs and see if you can bring this race home. Brett,
Wow.
this is far from over. Spark
Safety
plug
car not good for Van Buren.
with a 3-second penalty. Van Vieren having a brilliant race. 12
the
seconds
penalties
next to
will
his
hurt
name.
them.
Oh, Van Vieren, mate. I'm hurting for him, Brett. He's having a great race.
See, I keep saying it, sorry to repeat myself, but...
Arthur,
these penalties
3-second
all-
penalty, Brett. It's all happening in
my
Mexico.
God, what is he doing? Arthur!
Spark plug into the pits. Van Vieren, not close to the pits. Only entering sector 3 now. The mechanic, right on the back of right on the back of still the Ferrari. And Carefree Veal is out of this race as well, Brett. We have lost our 6th driver.
Wow, they are dropping like flies.
Right, so running you down the order, Brett, we will have Arthur, followed by Sparkplug, who will be looking to hunt Arthur down. Van Vieren, the mechanic. Where is the Beans? There he is in P5. Will he box for a brand new set of softs? He'll have to, Brett. He will have a free pit stop. And he stays out. He stays out.
Wow, wow.
Right, the Firehawk. Will he jump into the pits? He will not have the luxury of a free pit stop like the Beans did. Oh, we have a car out on track. And the drivers will have to be cautious not to run into that car. The mechanic DNF'd, Brett.
Oh, wow. Honestly, at this point, Evan, I'm lost for words.
Under the
I don't
safety
know.
car, what is happening? We have lost our 7th driver, Brett. We have lost 3 drivers in
Wow.
1 lap.
7 drivers out, and this is a 3rd safety car. Wow. Danny, still, Evan, I'm going to get my words out. Danny is rooting on the Beans.
Let's go, the Beans. Where is the Beans? Your man is running in P4, sitting pretty. But when you look at the tires, he will be vulnerable because the Firehawk on a brand new set of red soft tires. He's sitting on 5-lap old mediums, Brett. Not too bad, but you don't want to be fending off a guy on a brand new set of softs.
Look at this. 4 of the top 6 have penalties. 5
4
of the top 6 have
6,
penalties.
3
Sorry,
seconds.
5.
3 seconds,
Wow.
12 seconds, 3 seconds, and the Dark Fox on 5. And we have lost 3 drivers in 1 lap. The Beans is dreamy. I'll take your word for that. But man, this guy, currently running P4, keeping his nose clean, out of trouble. But the question, Brett, does the Beans have the pace to defend against the Firehawk?
Honestly, Evan, I can't answer that question because whatever I say, it's going to be the opposite. So I'm going to sit here and be quiet.
The safety car will not be in this lap, Brett. We will have at least one more lap of safety car after this one, maybe two, which will leave us with 3 laps of racing. And Brett, please remind me, when we are on the last lap, I have the tendency to forget that we are on the last lap.
I will, Evan, do not worry. And the toy saying working out good for Firehawk.
Working out very good for Firehawk. I'm not saying a word, Brett. I'm not saying anything. You all know what I'm thinking, but I'm not going to say it.
Danny here, letting the chat know that Where's the Beans is her man and nobody else's man.
His man, no one else's man, but is he the man to maintain that spot for P4? Brett, currently as things stand, the Beans on his debut race in SA F1 Racing League is getting a podium position as things are standing currently.
Unbelievable stuff.
Let me correct myself, Brett. No, he does not. The Firehawk with no penalties, Beans with 3 seconds of penalties.
Oh.
The Firehawk currently sitting in a podium position. Can the Beans do it on his debut race?
And I'll tell you one thing, Evan. Danny definitely knows where the Beans is. That's one thing.
Rooting for her, man. The Beans. We will have 1 more lap of safety car and 3 laps of racing. No matter what happens from here on out, Brett, there will be no more safety cars.
In my opinion, the qualifying wasn't amazing, but the race has definitely lived up to expectations.
Well, Brett, you know what they say, it is not how you start, it is definitely how you finish. Currently, we have 7 drivers out of this Grand Prix. The Mechanic, Carefree, Dan Tyler, MGST, New Avenger, Detoy, and Mr. Sniper. And what is this? Did someone just overtake MM Slayer? Yes, but he gave the position back. No foul, no harm there, Mr. Brett.
Wow. 7 DNFs, 3 safety cars.
Remarkable race.
This is Formula 1.
Remarkable race by the Tier 2 drivers. Hats off. And Brett, as you can see, Arthur starting to warm up these tires. We will have 3 laps of racing because the safety car will be in by the end of this lap.
At one point, Arthur was cruising, and now it's all changed.
It is all changed. There it is. Safety car in this lap. We will be spectating Sparkplug. When will Arthur make the jump? Had a 13-second gap out in front, sitting pretty, but now he will have to defend from a very hungry Sparkplug who wants P1 back. And let's not forget the battles these two had at the start of the Grand Prix, moments before Sparkplug lost it. Into the final corner. Arthur waiting, gets the jump. But Sparkplug was not sleeping. We are underway, and Where's the Beans was caught napping already. Firehawk makes the move on the Beans.
Oh.
And Brett, Sparkplug gaining on the outside. Great defending by Arthur. No DRS for 2 laps. DRS will be activated in the last lap of this race only. Can Sparkplug maintain a 1 second behind Arthur? Gaining already. On the inside, Sparkplug runs wide. Arthur back in the lead. No contact. Van Vieren, another penalty. No.
Oh my God, what are they doing?
Sparkplug runs wide. Loses it. Can Van Vieren make the move stick? Arthur out of DRS range thus far, but no DRS for 2 more laps. Beans still sitting pretty out in P5. It's all happening. Knudsen to Dominant to Saki Biener. This is the battle for P8, Brett. Knudsen,
wow,
defending from Dominant Racer. onto the inside, late braking, no contact, runs wide, little bit of contact. He gets the move done. Knudsen into P7. Arthur, new fastest lap, 119.3. Great stuff, and the Beans hunting down the Firehawk.
Look at this battle as well, Evan.
Back to, we have contact, Brett, running wide, and he's off. He's off.
Oh my,
Dark Fox off. Aggressive driving by dominant racer. That, there will be questions about that one, Brett. And out in front, Beans from Firehawk, from Van Vieren, 15 seconds of penalties. Having a great race. This will haunt him. Runs wide, another warning, and Sparkplug back in DRS range.
Look at this.
Skull Racer, Dominant, Knudsen and Saki, these two teammates, they cannot be separated, and Arthur's off! Arthur's DNF! He's off!
God, Arthur!
That unleashes Sparkplug, and Arthur is retired from this race with 2 laps remaining.
Just when you thought you'd seen it all, F1 throws something else.
Arthur, with a 13-second gap out in front, loses it on lap 34. Sparkplug leading this Grand Prix. Van Vieren currently sitting in P2, but he won't get it, Brett. The Beans is getting a podium as it stands. The Beans on debut. It's all happening.
Evan, I told you, don't mention Arthur. Don't say nothing.
Dominant racer on Skull, Brett. It's all happening. The Firehawk sitting pretty. Coming back at him. DRS empty, late braking into the run. The Beans can get podium, Brett. He needs to. He needs.
Unbelievable.
As it stands, Van Vieren will drop down the order like a sinking rock, and the Beans is looking pretty for a podium finish in his debut race.
Wow, this is mental.
The Dark Fox having a dark day indeed, running in P9.
Keep it together, boys and girls. The pressure is mounting.
The pressure is mounting. The Dark Fox, a night he will want to forget, Brett. He's just cruising it home, knowing this race is over for him. Arthur on lap 34, and Sparkplug starts the last lap of this Grand Prix, followed by Van Vieren. Firehawk, get a move on. Beans, you on for a podium?
Where's the Beans? Can they keep it together? Last lap, the pressure is on everyone out here.
Well, Brett, he's currently 9 seconds off the lead. As things stand, the Beans will get a penalty, and Van Vieren will be fuming with himself. Don't choke, Beans. Don't choke in the chat. Right, spectating. Sparkplug into the S corners. He's keeping it nice and easy. He knows he has a 4-second gap. Doesn't have to push at all. Into the final sector, Mr. Sparkplug goes, and he will be our race winner of Tier 2 in Mexico. Into the penultimate corner. Sparkplug started on pole, dropped to 13th, fought your way back, race win. Sparkplug, get in there. Van Vieren, what a drive. But Firehawk will take P2, and here comes the Beans on podium, debut race. Get in the Beans, followed by Van Vieren.
The Beans. Wow.
Dominant racer P5. Skull Racer will come home to finish on track in 6th. And Brett, driver of the day, get in the Beans on debut.
Wow.
What do you think, Brett? I need your opinion.
To be fair, I'm going to have to agree with you. What do I say, Evan? The Beans, simple as driver of the day. Does it need any explanation?
the Beans' debut race, Brett, had a shaky start, was battling in the midfield, gets podium on debut, and that in my books deserves driver of the day any day of the week.
Yeah, I mean, mid-race, the Beans wasn't really mentioned. They had a quiet race, but they kept themselves to themselves, kept themselves out of trouble, and look how it ended for them. Amazing.
Brett, this was the end to a very, very eventful Tier 2 race in Mexico. And Brett, please take us through the order for tonight's race.
Well, we have Sparkplug P1. The fire is still burning for Firehawk in P2. Where's the Beans? Well, I'll tell you where he is. He's P3, podium. Jan Vroren, 4th. Dominant Racer, Skull Razor, Nutson, Saki Biena, the Dark Fox, and Rulok make up the top 10. They go Slayer in 11th. And I need to have a break and a sit down and to regroup and regather myself, because that Eben was a fantastic race.
Brett, well, if there's anything that Tier 2 would want to say tonight is look out, Tier 1 drivers, this is how it's done. We don't need 8 safety cars to finish a race. Great stuff by the Tier 2 drivers in Mexico. And Brett, if Tier 3 is anything to go by, I'm going to enjoy the Tier 3 race just as much when we are back on Friday evening for Formula 2.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you can be here Friday for Formula 2 action, then please be here. You will be in for a treat.
And Brett, it's always a pleasure sharing the comms box with you. We are signing out from the SA F1 Racing League in Mexico. Brett, have a great evening, and I enjoyed
Eben,
this time with you.
Yes, Eben, my friend, take care, and thank you. To the chat and the community, all of you take care, look after yourself, and we will see you next time.